Hello there! So I am going to be doing something a little bit different in this episode of Deep Thoughts. Instead of doing, or rather writing the Animinute first and then doing the Deep Thoughts, I thought that I would just kind of give my extended thoughts on the episode now, just to check it up, just to see if maybe it's better to do the sort of rambly extended thoughts video first and then do the Animinute, or rather assemble my thoughts and then let them be scattershot. So I thought I'd kind of change it up. That's why the Animinute for this episode hasn't come out quite yet. But that said, let's talk about Fruits Basket episode 2, and in particular I want to start off with how freaking awesome that opening song is. The OP for the show is something else, man. Like, I wasn't expecting it to have this sort of, like, old school aesthetic to it. I mean, I guess I should have expected it. And by old school, I don't mean like, oh, it's like a old school, like a old-timey song. Like, that's not. It feels, honestly, sort of like, almost like an old Inuyasha opening kind of song. Like, it feels very like this sort of like almost R&B-ish kind of feel to it. That's the best way I could describe it. It just feels very different compared to all the other openings that I've seen, not just this season, but like this year thus far. It's very fitting for this kind of show. It's very chill, very relaxed. The visuals in the OP are very like calm and serene, very much fitting the sort of feeling I think that Fruits Basket is going for. Now, for me, again, like I said, I haven't, in other videos, I haven't seen the original Fruits Basket, but I do find it ironic that the song feels like a more sort of early 2000s sort of opening, and the song itself is titled Again, as in we're doing Fruits Basket again. I do think that's kind of neat. I definitely think that was on purpose. I love the OP. Real talk, this OP is so my aesthetic, like so chill and serene and calm and fun. It might very well be my OP of the season, which is saying something because we're in a season where JoJo's exists, but it's so special. I can't really describe it. It's just like watching it. I hadn't expected to feel that zen watching an opening for an anime in a while, because usually anime openings tend to like hype you up or make you laugh. So it's been forever since the last one that made me feel like calm and serene and like, yeah, we're gonna watch an episode of Fruits Basket. This is gonna be really fun. It was just something else. I was so impressed by it. I'm really impressed by both the OP and the ED. The ED is still the one to beat for me. I think the ED is probably ED of the season. OP, we'll have to wait till Attack on Titan's OP comes out, but yeah, we'll see. So far, it's looking pretty good for Fruits Basket. They may have the OP and ED on lock. But getting into the actual episode, though, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Kyo, because I went really full circle with his character in this episode. This episode is, there is like other character beats for everyone else, but for the most part, it's very much Kyo's episode, in my opinion anyway, because like at the start of the episode, I felt sort of bad for him, because he's like the outsider, he's the cat, he was tricked in the past, and yada yada, he feels like an outsider. And then his anger, he breaks that table and hurts my girl. He hurts Toru. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you jerk, like you idiot, you blah blah blah. And I was so mad at him. I was right there with Soma, with Yuki, where I was like, you idiot, like what have you done? Like, I can't believe you hurt the girl. You hurt best girl. What's wrong with you? And then I started kind of coming back around where I was like, you know what, I do sort of feel bad for him, but like he's kind of doing this to himself. And then by the end of the episode, I was like, oh, he's just sort of, he doesn't know, like, not that he doesn't know any better, but he has such a shell around him that of course he can't break out of it. And his character really, I was really endeared to his character. At first I thought I was just sort of like on him, like I kind of got what he was about, but I wasn't like super invested. But in this one episode they were like, no, Kyo is cool and you better be invested. You better be invested in what's gonna happen with Kyo and Yuki and Toru. And speaking of which, my goodness, they are laying on the romance triangle thick with this episode. That friggin' love triangle trope is strong with this one. Like, okay, so episode 1 really made me think like, okay, so Yuki is probably gonna end up with Toru at the end, but maybe Kyo, because he, you know, he was like the cat, like he's the cat, and Toru as a kid always wanted to be a cat rather than the dog because she felt bad for the cat. But now but then I was like, no, because in this episode alone, Yuki has the scene with Toru in the school, and it makes it seem like, oh, okay, so Toru's very clearly going to end up with Yuki. But then, like, by the end of it, I was like, oh, maybe I don't know. And I feel like that might be the best part of the show thus far, is if the love triangle is going to be not like the central focus, but a part of the show that like they really emphasize, I really don't know which way it's gonna go. And if you do know, please don't spoil it. Don't be that person. But yeah, I was very much on the edge of my seat. Just thanks to a love triangle, I was on the edge of my seat. When's the last time you can even, like, and I swear if anybody says domestic on a show. But yeah, I'm really into Kyo. I love the love triangle. I love all these characters. Of course, Shigure, still my boy, and I really want to know what was up with Shigure and Akito, the head of the Soma family. I want to know what was up with that little meeting they had there. Like, that was, to me, very strange. And it's probably my favorite part of Fruits Basket, is that it's this shoujo story that has this sort of like background story, like the mysteries of the Soma family and figuring it out slowly over time. And I do feel like this episode was a much better, not much better, but a better episode than the premiere, at least for me, because I adored the premiere. It was like a big strong thumbs up, very close to a gold star, but this one, it hits the gold star for me. This episode was like so great. If the whole show is like this episode was, then I'm sold. This episode completely blew me away. I desperately want more. I think Fruits Basket is probably going to be my show of the season, which I'm sure some people are like, friggin' duh, but again, I haven't seen the original, so I'm genuinely shocked how much the show is working for me. I can't wait for more. But yeah, everybody, with that said, let me know your thoughts on the second episode of Fruits Basket's new season. And of course, a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, in particular, Veridin, Urza, Evil, Gabriel, No For Nothing, Opinionated Slime, and Tristan. If you guys want to help me out big time, be sure to check out my Patreon link in the description. It would help me out a ton and I'd super appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for me though. So until our next meeting, stay rad and don't scary.